Good morning, y'all. It's Timidity. Oh, fucking Jesus Christ, what's going on in my life? Anyway, but to cut to the chase, if you're someone who says you have like zero type, I don't trust you as a human being. And someone was pointing it out online and they were getting lashes for it, but I was like, no, no, let them speak, let them cook, because they're true. Because what do you mean you just fuck anything? You just date anything. No one has a specific je ne sais quoi to you. Nothing stands out. You don't care about like what your future kids look like, what traits they have, what like anything that could be passed on to them. And before you go to Mitty, are you just describing eugenics? I'm describing a care for your kid. You just want to stick your dick in anything? Anything. Cause I don't, there's so many reasons I don't respect that. Because I've met men like that. And holy shit, okay, there's the first type of man who says, oh, I'm into anything. And those are the men who will just tolerate anything, but they do have a type. They just won't say it out loud because it's not considered politically correct. And then you'll watch as then they'll come to, like, they'll just tell me later on, they'll be like, actually, personally, I prayed every day that my ex's tits would get bigger, and then funny enough, twice I prayed really, really hard, and the next day they did grow a little bit. Yeah, she had like B cups. I don't. And then he'll talk about how he was with her for like 10, almost 11 years and never married her. Like, he was such an asshole that he was just like, oh, yeah, I'd never marry her. Like, or he kept, well, I'll put it this way. He kept claiming he was in love with her and that he truly did love her, but then just wasn't sure about marriage. Even when, like, 7 years in, she was like, honey, guess what? I'm pregnant and it's twins. He was like, oh, awesome. That's great. You're going to have two of my kids. Awesome. She was like, cool. Would you mind marrying me so you could put a ring on this and then we can just, like, be official. Kids aren't born out of wedlock. We can have a nice stable home and I can just be sure you're going to be there with me for life, not just like an awkward baby mama situation. And then he was like, I don't know you well enough for that. She did the smart thing. She aborted those fucking babies. It's been years and he still whines about that shit. It's like, yeah, I don't know how to break it to you. Why should she be put in a situation where, like, if anything, also, he later on told me that he had several times in his life seen multiple women that he considered 9 out of 10s that he wanted to marry on the spot. Some of them he didn't even have a conversation with at all. One of them he actually literally didn't have a conversation with. It was a massive language barrier with some fine as fuck waitress in another country, and she didn't speak a lick of the English, and he was like, I can tell I love her. I need to marry her. It's like, sir, you're just experiencing lust. You just saw a beautiful, curvaceous woman who doesn't speak a word of English, so you don't know if she has anything that you can ever like or hate. And you want her, but you know you got a girl waiting on you at home or at the hostel who actually does want to marry you, and you're not doing it. Why? Because you're always looking for an elusive, better woman. But you expect her to sit there and be in situations like that, but then pregnant so that you can travel all around the world and send back money every now and then when you get on, you leave her for a fucking thicker lady in another country who doesn't speak English, and you give that girl the world as she's stuck with your fucking babies in shit ass fucking America. Two twins as a single woman in America, baby mother. No, she did the smart thing. She aborted those fucking kids. Because it's like, I'll put it this way. Like, I'm just saying. She did the smart thing. I don't know how to say it better than I've said it. She would have set herself up for a world of hatred towards her being if she would have kept those babies, and people would have been like, oh, look, it's a welfare queen. It's a bitch who couldn't keep her legs shut. And it's like they wouldn't even know she was loving and devoted to a man for 10 years who just wasn't loving and devoted to her and was secretly hoping to fuck other people. You want to know how that relationship ended, by the way? Cause, while on the topic, she cheated on him. Because guess what? Eventually, as time went on, eventually they were on a trip, and he kind of just was like, the way he told me about it, he was like, I was so in love with her that we were just at this random cliff, and I got down on one knee and I proposed. I didn't even need a ring because I was just so in love with her. And it's like, no, I thought to myself, no, if you loved her, you would have had a ring. Like, no, you were just like fucking 7, 8 years down the line, and you were just treating her as a placeholder and figured you couldn't find anything better. So you just got down on one knees in a dark, muddy rainforest and said, marry me? And then she said yes. And then, like, the way he talks about it, for like another 2 to 3 years, he never bought a ring. It was the one thing she wanted. She was like, hey, baby, it's good that we're engaged. Can we get a ring? He was like, no. And like, not yet. I don't. want to, or oh, I don't know, maybe it's not the right time for me money wise. I'll get you a ring when I'm done with school. Da 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 da. And he kept making excuses. So now it's just like, yeah, it's just at some point he wanted to. He hates her to this day so bad, and he sees her as some wicked bitch. But he doesn't look at his own actions. He's a pathetic man. Things with me and him didn't work out for plenty of reasons too. And if you're like, Timothy, why did you date him? It's a long story. Or the short story is he wanted to spend money on me. And hey, he was my type. So it was like, all right, fuck it. Are you gonna turn down a guy taking you out to nice fancy dinners and eating your fucking puss when he's your type? You probably won't. He was not considered ugly to me. And it's like, all right, there was worse I could get. And for now, I was gonna take the 6'6" white guy with beautiful pistachio green eyes with the blue rim and the hazel starburst middle, and I was gonna let his toxic ass lick my holes, and I was going to enjoy it, and I did. I did. He got me nice things. I liked that. I got like several nice dresses out of that man. And some earrings. And some, yeah. Well, anyway. But as I was saying, yeah, she did the right thing cheating on me. I mean, I don't even really condone cheating. I'm sorry. I don't condone cheating. I think cheating is bad, but sometimes I hear situations where it's like, okay, she did what she had to do. At some point, it was just like, okay, here's a man that doesn't love me. I could have been like the mother to like two fucking bumbling toddlers, happy with a ring with a man. And instead, I'm waiting on this guy who has Peter Pan syndrome to grow up. And deep down, he probably just doesn't like me as much. He claims he loves me. He didn't even get me a ring. He could have gotten something off Temu or Shein. He could have gotten me a moissanite. He could have gotten lab grown. Rings aren't even that expensive these days. He could have got me a simple band to show to my family. I'm walking around telling people I'm engaged, and I'm just showing an empty hand. So you know what she did? She took that hand, opened up a texting app, found a new fine ass nigga who was not a stupid fucking loser, and fucked the shit out of him. And then said, yeah, we're ending things because I want to explore life and what life has to offer. And he didn't like that. But guess what, nigga? You were not marrying her because you thought more life had more to offer. So go ahead with your bad self. That's how that works. But it's okay, because she gets to be happy and she's traveling the world and fucking her way to the top, as she should. Amen. Do what you gotta do, ladies. I'm happy for you. And then well, he gets to fuck people like me, and he gets to spend a lot of money on me. So, and and I had big titties, so he was happy as fuck. So it's like, hey, you know what, that worked. But even then, me and him still ended because he tried to do the whole like, ooh, I've never, like, he tried to allude that I was like an 8 out of 10, and how there's no such thing as a 9 out of 10. Before then, like a few days later, unprovoked monologuing about how he has met women that are 9 out of 10s, and how they like he was also saying all types of shit like, "Ooh, I've never met a woman who had such good chemistry with me off the bat that I just instantly could picture a future with her." I was like, "Nigga, you were in a relationship for like 10 fucking years. Why were you dating someone that you didn't feel a strong connection with you for a decade? You wasted your own time." And then two, nigga, we had that, and you're trying to pretend like we aren't. I think he was negging me. And even if I honestly know, he was negging me. He did so much weird shit. Anyway, let's just say I ended things. Yeah. And I also made sure I fucking severed that tie so bad that neither of us could return to each other, even if we wanted to. Fuck you, dude. That's why I told your mom about your coke addiction and about your obsession with her breasts. He was a weird man. Like, I'm not saying you can't be obsessed with your mom's breasts, but it's like, actually, maybe you shouldn't be as a grown. Yeah, anyway, he's not married. Also, that's another, it's like, where do you draw the line? What do you mean you don't have a type? Because then what do you mean that your type is like me, is like just every woman on the planet you will waste the time of, and you'll even find ways to ogle your own mother, but deep down secretly you want that one illustrious bad bitch Jamaican woman with the huge titties, slim waist, fat ass, long gorgeous waterfall braids running down her back that you saw for like 10 seconds at a random waterfall in Jamaica. I understand why you'd fall in love with her, dude. Like, and I'll put it this way. There's so much to unpack there. And I know you're probably caught up on, Tamia, did you really tell his mother? Let's not go into that. Let's not focus on that. Let's not focus on that. Shut up. Focus on the important thing. This man's a scum-sucking loser. And she deserved better, and she got better. And did I get better after him? He was actually a pretty good guy to date, all things considered. But he was a nightmare of a person, too. it was like a weird thing. Like like anyone who actually met me and that dude were like, oh my god! Like I remember we walked into us the day before our huge blow up happened, where everything hit the fan. This like hella people came up to us and they were like, "You two look so fucking good as a couple." And even when we were like, "Oh no, we're not a couple," they would be like, "Make it work. I see this work." Like a woman in a dress shop openly was like, "No, the way he looks at you is lethal. He's obsessed with you. You both need to find a way to make this work immediately." And I don't know, we did have a very nice connection. I hate that I can feel my heart warming as I'm talking about this man. But do I still dislike him? Of course I do. He's a fucking loser. He's a fucking loser piece of shit. But what can I say? He was my type, and I was mostly his. But trust me, he's told me it. But even then, it's like, the types of men who say they don't have a type secretly do. And you can just tell because the way they treat you will be dramatically different. It doesn't mean the guy's got a good person though, and the guy's a good person though, and it usually says a lot about their moral character anyway. If it's like, okay, so you're willing to waste the time of someone who's not your type just because you want a hole to fill and nothing, and then meanwhile, as for me, you're giving me the world. Like, I don't know, I think it's fucked up that he had an ex where he was like, oh, I'm not getting her a ring. No, it's not the right time. But then he would be like, oh, hey, Timothy, I know you literally threatened my life and insulted me endless times the other day for like fucking 16 hours straight. I'm gonna buy you a beautiful fancy dress and a matching pair of earrings. You want a bag too? I'll get you a bag. Like, you want another dress? Fuck it, I'll get you another dress. It's like, that's kind of fucked up in my opinion. Like, I hope he was doing that shit to her. But even if, like, regardless, it's like he wasn't treating her very well. But regardless, men like that, even with their type, they don't know how to treat their own secret type very well either. A lot of these men are fucking losers. Oh, but back to the original topic of this video. Like, if you just say you don't, okay, I'll put it this way. There's a joke about how slutty women have probably prevented a lot of school shootings. And I believe that. That's a funny ass joke in my opinion. And it's true. And it's true. Why do you think I usually target the creepy ass pale white boys with the fucked up mindsets? Not just because they're my type, even though they are, but also because it's like, you know what, these niggas might be this close to becoming serial killers, and if I can use the power of my pussy to make them just like, I don't know, the most annoying guy on your block instead, then sure, let's do that. Fuck it. Why not? And, you know, I get some cool shit out of it, so that works out for me. Uh, but it is true. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, shout out to the girls with no standards. Like, there's a chick online on Twitter as we speak who is obsessed with bubble bath. And if you're like, who's bubble bath? If you've watched SpongeBob, you know the guy who talks about how his burger didn't have pickles and hides the pickles under his tongue just to be a dick and antagonize people for no reason. There's a chick who fantasizes about him and draws love, like, draws them with as a couple, kissing, making out, having babies together. I'll put it this way, shout out to the people with low standards, because if you ever feel like you're ugly as a person, just know that there's people out there who would fuck the world's worst SpongeBob character and fantasize about a life with him in a small little condo with their several kids pissing off Squidward. And like they actually fully mean it. Like they would sell their left kidney and their right testicle to have that life. And they don't even have a testicle. They would find a right testicle. They would grow one physically. They would find a way to get into a lab, grow a testicle, sever that shit off, no anesthesia, and then give it to Beelzebub or whatever the fuck, to a fucking demon or a Cthulhu creature or a Lovecraftian horror so that they could fuck their beloved bubble bath. So I'm just saying, you're never as ugly as you think. But shout out to the dudes who do fuck everything too. I think it's like, I don't know. I'll put it this way. You know how people got online and they said things like, ooh, you act like we can pick who our baby mama is. You can, for the most part. The answer is to fuck women who you actually genuinely want. You can't, because there are men out here where, as long as they can get their dick wet on a Saturday night, it doesn't matter if they're gonna have sex with Lori Harvey or Rihanna, or if they're gonna have sex with a toothless crackhead, or anything. They have no standards. They don't give a fuck about anything. Like, they'll be like, sure, I'm gonna fuck this chick who just escaped this mental asylum and has like 86 different mental disorders. Sure. And oh, she's pregnant. Okay. And then guess what? Then they're gonna put people on. They're gonna make people on this planet that are just like her come into this fucking world because they were reckless, stupid idiots shooting their sperm all up in the cervixes of psychos. Say that 10 times fast. Shooting in the cervixes of psychos 10 times fast. That might not be. That's actually easy to say 10 times fast. Maybe. Unless you have a speech impediment, which I do. But whatever. But either way, it's like you should care what your kids look like. I know that some people would say that's fucked up in eugenics, but I think you should. Because I'll put it this way, I know what shit I got and suffer through. And if I can have a kid that can have a lesson out of that, cool. That sounds good to me. And I'm talking like mental disorders and shit. Mind you, I already said casually in this video about like something heinous I did to a dude's parent. Well, to him, but whatever. Simply put, like, I'll put it this way. I'll put a pin in this topic. Let's just say it like this. Imagine you meet someone who doesn't think that there's a certain je ne sais quoi or beauty in in certain types of people. Like their bar is just like, oh, someone who's nice to me. Like they don't give a fuck what you look like, how you act, like anything. Just as long as they are treated nice in the moment. They will date an abuser. They will date the world's ugliest motherfucker ever. They'll date a funky bitch who does not take care of herself and has no care for others. They'll fuck a crackhead with no teeth. They'll fuck someone with who has bad pussy management and a bunch of kids and STDs. They will do all sorts of stupid, dumb shit. All sorts of stupid, dumb shit. And you will watch them do it. And it's like, I don't know how to break it down, but just like, I think you should care about who you fuck. In fact, here, I'll bring up another guy, my ex Morgan. Loser. He's one of the only people on this planet who can make me do that fucking face off the bat. I hate his ass. But even though, ironically, if you were to be like, Timothy, what did you love about him when you dated? His ass. He had a big old fatty. Because I have a type. He had a big old juicy ass and a beautiful award-winning smile. He was gorgeous. I loved it. I loved it. He was so gorgeous. I'm a hypocrite. I would be willing to tolerate some of the mental illnesses on his side of his family getting mixed in with mine. But you know what? We'd have mentally unstable children that would be loved, that would have a nice home and some money, and then they'd be gorgeous. So just like me and him, they would still have a pretty okay time in life, all things considered. Like we would work hard to make sure of it. But you know, he gave up on that fantasy, so I gave up on it too. Cause fuck that nigga. But as I was saying, he also did not treat his ex-girlfriend very well. And if you're like, somebody, why did you date this guy? Money. And also ass. And he was great at sex. There we go. That's usually just the rundown. I don't usually, like, nah. I was not seeing this man. Like, if the reason I ever met this man was just, I was online and horny once, and then we stopped talking for several years, and it's a long story. I'll tell you at another time. But yeah, I wasn't looking for him to be a good person or anything. And also, I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. But yeah, imagine my shock when years into fucking and stuff, I learned he had a girlfriend. And it was like, oh. And then he later on did open about it because I guess I just was like, oh, okay, well, you can't take back the past. Why'd you do it? But he just explained that he was like, ooh, I loved her. I loved her so much, but I didn't want to get tied down. I didn't want to get tied down. And it's like, but he was the one to suggest a relationship with her, marriage with her, all sorts of shit with her. And he acted like he didn't have a type. He was just happy to have a hole to fill consistently. Like he actually talked about how he didn't even like her that much when they first met, but how over time, hey, she was sweet and she was nice and she was also allowing him to have raw sex all the time, so he was willing to fall in love with her. But then guess what? As soon as she was like, actually, I would like to wear condoms again. And I don't know why that happened. It never explained why, but knowing that he was a slut, like I imagine that he was cheating even before like the excuse he gave me. But simply put, he just was like, ooh, she wanted me to wear condoms and I don't like sex with condoms. And then she wanted to fuck less. It's like, I don't know, did you give her an STD? Did you give her any BV or a yeast infection? You dirty dick motherfucker. Like, did you almost get her pregnant? And did you just simply, like, yeah, yeah. It's like also knowing him, he was obsessed with cream pies. And I imagine she did not want to get pregnant by some loser who wasn't going to marry her and Yeah. Either way, eventually he just was like, yeah, so I started cheating on her. And then he just was fucking any woman he could. Any woman he could. It didn't matter. And he's not the only guy I've met or known who's done shit like this. Like, it's awful men out here who will be like, I don't have a type. I have a girl that loves me waiting at home, thinking that I'm out and about being a good man, but deep down, I'm clapping the cheeks of this nasty, ugly cougar bitch at this bar who has no self respect and no respect for anyone else just because there's a chance I could get my dick wet. No discernment. These are the types of men that will just, like, years later, they're gonna find out they had like 72 kids that they never knew about. I don't respect that. I think it's weird because it's like they usually always have a type, and if they don't, they're usually just extremely lustful, sex addicted people. They usually are. Like, hell, the guy I was talking to you about before, the guy with the coke addiction who was into his mom's tits, he was definitely a sex addict. Like, he was one of those he was one of those dudes where it's like, ooh, I'm gonna cut on alcohol and cocaine and go to the gym and work out and eat healthy, and then you'll realize what his final vice is. His final vice is that he wants to fuck all the time. He's into sex. At some point, and he would have his moments where it's like, I'm gonna cut back on alcohol, sugar, and sex, and then he'd be like, hey, Tamia, let's go out for sugary margaritas and fuck. Like, sir, like, slut, come on, let's get it together. It's okay to be a slut, but it's like, come on, we could be whoring it up together. Like, stop trying to act like you're this holy man of God who's into your religion. You have sexual needs. It's in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you want to experience intimacy, sure, but you're depriving yourself of pure intimacy by treating the women who truly love you like shit, and also constantly craving and desiring whatever the next new shiny thing is, whatever the next untouched woman is. It's gross and it's disturbing. But yeah, and also, I'll put it this way. I remember a girl, I was talking to this girl before, we're like sort of friends. She's sweet. And we were talking, and she was like, I don't want to be mean to other women, but like, like, you could date what you want, but have you ever seen a guy and then you've seen like his ex or the girl he gets with next, and you're just like, wow? And then I was like, I'm not PC, I'll fucking say it. I hate when a man does that. I tell a man not to show me what his ex-girlfriend looks like, because if he shows me someone ugly, I'll just think, oh, so you just stick your dick in anything. You have no restraint, no discernment whatsoever. You just doing whatever. I don't trust you, because I'll put it this way. Like if you fuck someone who looks like a fucking great value worse version of Amy Schumer, and then you want to try to get with Lori Harvey, it's like, how? Cause no, cause you're gonna so you think these are the same? It's pearls cast among swine. Who would, like, I'm just saying, that's the type of person where it's like, you could make them a gourmet meal with a gourmet steak, and they'll be like, oh, this tastes just like that fucking mystery hot dog I got in a trash can a while back. This is great. I love both these things. It's like they're not gonna recognize that there's different values there. Can they still be both separately loved and adored as women? Yes. But by the same nigga, I'm just saying, I think you should stay with your Schumers and leave me alone, because then those types of niggas are the types that get with Lori Harvey's, and then they'll be like, I got Lori Harvey at home, I love her. Oh, look, another great value, Amy Schumer. I'm gonna cheat on my bad bitch who has the most amazing, beautiful traits ever with this ugly mid bitch who looks like any girl, like any lady you could find at a fucking Walmart. I, I don't like that. I don't like that. That's just me. I don't like that. I don't like that very much. The fuck? Ugh. Cause I'm just saying. And then also, like I said before, you should probably give a shit about what your kids look like. I'm not saying you have to be all 1488 about it if you know you know. Definitely not. No. But if you, I'll put it this way. I usually encourage people to date within their types. Not as in like date within your race or blah blah. I say if you know you got a type, date within it, so that you're not the dude Like, I've been there before. I've been with a dude who was like, I don't have a type. I think all women are beautiful. And then he secretly was like, damn, Timothy, your tits are a little too big. I wish they were smaller. I wish your boobs were smaller. I wish you had glasses, too. That would be so sexy. Ugh, your boobs are so big. Why can't they be cute and little? Why can't you be 5'3" with red hair and pale skin? I was like, bitch, you're just describing that one chick from Persona. I'm not the chick from Persona 3 or Persona 4 or whatever the fuck. If you want the chick from Persona, you should not go for a tall, sexy black woman with huge titties and a waist like an apple. Come the fuck on. Come on. What the fuck? Stupid motherfucker. I hate that shit so much. And then it's just a matter of like, how do I say this nice part? Sorry, I'm also just casually pulling my hair out. I'm known to do that. That's why this piece of hair is so short compared to the rest of my hair. Well, it's not that short. Let's see. It's still shorter than what it could be. Like, it stops at my ear when it used to go to, like, my neck. Whatever. Whatever. But I'm just saying, if you say you don't have a type, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Because it'll just be like, you think everything tastes the same. You have COVID level taste buds. Everything tastes the same to you. You don't mind it as long as it gets your dick wet. I don't respect that. Because I'll put it this way. Do I want to bring my estranged parent into this? I could. I'll put it this way. I know she was a pretty. No, I don't need to say it. I won't say it. I won't say it. Because I'll be nice today. But too many motherfuckers saw a red flag of a woman. They were like, this is an abusive, tiny, light skinned chick with no ass. Who I. And they were like, pound it! Raw! Except I was a condom baby. I was a condom baby. I don't know how the fuck that happened. But knowing my dad and the stuff, allegations against him, it's like, I wouldn't put it. I hope it wasn't stealthing. Maybe it was just somehow the most unlucky condom in the world. Like it was just in some funky ass wallet for too long. I don't know. I don't know how that shit works. I exist. I exist. And now I'm mentally ill. But it's okay. I'm also gorgeous. But God bless. But like, shit, you know? I'm just saying. I think discernment is important. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I also feel like, I'll put it this way. If you are just truly one of those people where you'll be like, oh, like I dated, actually, hell, fuck yeah. I'll bring up the recent guy I was with. I dated this one guy, also within my type. Like, he had a fat ass, beautiful big blue eyes, pretty fucking pale skin. Definitely gave white boy who's just narrowly gonna, like, he didn't give the vibe of like a serial killer, but he did give the vibe of like, this guy seems like he's like this close to the edge on something, and he's just scared and he shakes all the time like a little crusty-eyed white dog, like a little chihuahua, and he's nervous all the time, and he really really likes me. He's a cute, shy, little pale little cutie. I'll go for him. And then I'll put it this way. I remember at some point he was like, I hope you don't think that if I had a kid with you I wouldn't love it because it were black. I would love it just as much. I would love a black child just as much as I would love an Eskimo child. And or he said it a specific phrasing, like, I would love my child as much as an Eskimo. And I was like, why did you mention Eskimos? Do you have a vendetta against Eskimos? Do you have a thing for Eskimos? I don't even think you're supposed to say Eskimo anymore. If anything, I also forgot that until this second. I'm sorry. But, like, either way, I was like, all right. And then guess what? It took a week. Like a week later, this man went from I love you and I want to have marriage and kids, la 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 la, to fuck you, nigger. I will lynch and hang you from a fucking tree. Come find me. I'll put a bullet in your fucking head. And you want to know what I did? I called his bluff. I'm the type of person where it's like, if you threaten some shit like that on me, I'm coming for that ass. I'm coming for that ass, you fucking little gay boy. And so I did. You wanna know? I did. I sure fucking did. I'll put it this way. If you thought, wow, Timothy, that time you told a dude about a dude's mom about his coke addiction and his obsession with her breasts was, and all that other shit was pretty wild. Imagine the biblical shit I did to this man. It's been weeks and he still is crying to me about the shit that went down. And I had to tell him, I said, nigga, you said come find you. So I found you. If you're about it, be about it. He said, I never said I was about it. You said, and I said, nope, you did. You said you were about it. And then so I proved that I am much more about it than you are. So come fucking find me. And he was like, I'm not gonna find you. And I was like, that's, see, weak little pissy bitch. Bitch. I hate that man. He's a loser. He is a loser. Sad. Anyway. But a shout out to the people who don't have a type, because you know what, you'll avoid situations like me, because I will just keep being like, I'm gonna keep dating like white dudes with like confusing amounts of like social skills and weird trauma, because sadly that is my je ne sais quoi. And then I'll be like, oh no, awful social situations and racism again. Damn, guess I'm gonna do this, look for the exact same type of nigga again. And expect a different result. Ah, insanity. So, but you know, but I'll put it this way: if you're one of those dudes who's just like, ooh, you could date a chick from Honolulu with beautiful brown skin and monolids and like plushy lips and like a pear shape, and you can love her and cherish her culture and adore her, God bless you. If you could also then be like, I'm gonna date a black woman who is like, you know, no ass, big titties, big eyes, huge afro, all right, and then you can date a white woman and then be like, all right, this chick, you know, she's cute. She's got like blue eyes, no lips, but you know, still rosy cheeks. Like, you know, I'll put it this way: if you can go from like Pam Grier to Elle Fanning to uh, Pamela Anderson to Lucy Liu to, like, I'm just saying, if you just like bad bitches across the board of all types, I respect that. There is beauty to be found in everyone. But when someone says their type is anything, I get kind of sussed out. Like, not to say, like, I'll put it this way, my type is confusing as fuck too. Like, trust me, sometimes people, like, no, trust me, the way that my male friends have looked at the men I date, whether they are my type or not. Like sometimes I have dated outside of my traditional type and I've enjoyed it. And all the times I've been reminded why I should date only in my type. Holy shit. Either way, my male friends will just be like, Tamia, no, why him? And just be actually disgusted. Like, really? He's got a snaggle tooth in glasses. It's like, what's wrong? What's wrong with glasses? And they'll be like, okay, but the glasses make the snaggle tooth look worse. And then lo and behold, that guy was indeed the worst sex I've ever had in my life. And that's saying something. I've had a lot of bad sex. He was built like a Teletubby and not in a good way. Ew. He had that guy had man titties, but they were like I'll put it this way: I'll date a dude with titties. The last dude I dated used to be a woman, like Luke. He was a trans woman for a while before he went back to being a man, I guess. And he has titties. I'll date a man with titties. I will fuck a man with titties. I'll fuck a fat nigga. I'll fuck a D-trans nigga. I'll fuck a trans woman. I'm okay with that. But then the one with the snaggletooth and glasses, he had like titties that just reminded me of how my boobs looked like when they were growing in when I was like, you know, like between ages 10 and 13. And it's just like, oh, that does not look good on a man. How does your, and then his stomach? And I like fat niggas. I like fat niggas. I do. I do. I shit on fat niggas, but I also really do like fat niggas. Believe it or not, I'm an asshole like that. But he didn't have the type of fat I like. So it was just like, okay, flat ass, skinny legs, Judge Holden built motherfucker. And he had the type of fat where it's just like, it all slopes downward in the front and just sags and hangs in a weird way and doesn't. I like my type of niggas where they're fat, but they got a fat ass and like some thick thighs and some nice hips on them. And like, you know, they got plushy stomach fat where it feels like you're sleeping on a Snorlax or on a fucking pillow pad. That nigga just had a hard belly body. Like pregnant fucking 16 months body. I didn't like that. Yeah, so I try, yeah, let's just say sometimes you have to learn the hard way to stay within your type. Like, that would have been a nice evening if I would have just stayed the fuck home. But, you know, I tried. Sometimes it's good to just date within your type. I like my people to be either squishy in a sexy way or just like take care of yourself, please. Like, just please don't make yourself unhappy. I'm just saying, if you know you like ass, date someone with ass. But if you truly are the type of person who can just date whatever and sees beauty in all body types, a part of me respects that. You know, it's good for the ecosystem. It's good for that there's people out there who are willing to just go for anything. I used to be one of those people. I used to for a little bit of time. But yeah, let's just say shout out to those who are open minded to a lot of things and can find beauty in all shapes and sizes and find love and adoration in all body types. And whatever grips their dick and makes them smile and makes them feel warm and loved, they will date. I kind of respect it, but to an extent I don't, just because I also hear the monologues of men where they'll be like, "Ooh, I didn't marry my wife because she was beautiful. I married her because she cooked and was nice to me. And because she would never divorce me, she lets me cheat. And also, like, you know, she just like, and then they'll just kind of list off traits about their wife where it's like they don't truly cherish her or see her as the best woman in their life. They're just like, this is the woman they could get. And that's always something I don't like. So it's like, I'm just saying, if you're just going after women you can get, like, if you know your type and you're just going after whatever you can get and wasting the time and fucking with the emotions of and the brain of and the hearts of any random women, I don't respect that. Because what are you doing? Like, you're prolonging time to meet your soulmate because you decided to get yellow fever, which is fine. It's like, you know, there are some sexy ass Asian women on this planet. And also, sorry if the term yellow fever is outdated. I don't get out the house much. And I'm friends with comedians who always say fucked up shit, so what can I say? But it's like, I'm just saying, like, I don't know how to say it better than I've said it. God, I'm ripping out so much hair. I think I just ripped off and made a really long lock super short because it got tangled, and now I'm pretty sure I just made it even smaller. God damn it. I need to get my hair braided. I need to get a hair mask and do some things today. But I'm glad I'm talking today. I'm just saying, there should be something that gets you going, that gets your blood pumping and all that, to distinguish that your wife is something that stands out to you better than anyone else. But who knows, if you truly just have that much love and energy in your heart and you're truly just sexually interested in everybody, but you can manage to be monogamous and just love one person genuinely, fully within your heart, and just see, like, okay, yeah, there's a million people on this planet your body is compatible with, but they're the only one who encapsulates your souls. Alright, I respect that. But there are too many niggas out here who are just like, ooh, I don't think my wife is pretty. I think she's cute. You know, I'm not even sexually attracted to the supermodel types because they just seem so unattainable to me. So I actually like my wife, who I consider to be a fat bitch with a weird little dolphin face. I think that she is sweet and she caters to me. And then secretly they lust after, like, they'll marry a woman like that and be with her for like 20 years. And then even though they're the ones who got down on one knee and proposed to her, after like fucking 10 years of wasting her time or whatever, they'll wait another 20 years or so into marriage, and then they'll be like, she fucking trapped me. Marriage is a prison. I hate her. How dare she be the exact same way she was years ago? God damn it. And then they'll just, like, I remember once, this is like, oh God, I remember when I was a teenager, I went to these ballroom dancing classes, and this one man was married and I was a teenager. I had no interest in his ugly, sweaty ass. Ugh, no. He was such a creep. He was giving certified pedophile for a lot of reasons. But let me just say, once I saw him at another event, just passively, and then the way this man, like, his wife was admittedly, okay, there's no nice way to say it. No titties, snaggletooth glasses. She looked like, kind of like the wife in the traditional American painting with the guy with the pitchfork, like, just side, like, just like, and I say this, like, I'll put it this way: some women can be cute with shit like that. Like, if you remember that one spoof movie they made where it's like, oh God, look at her, she's got glasses and overalls with paint on them, she's ugly. It wasn't like that. She just genuinely was just a very not attractive woman, like a little bit of a monobrow, which is fine, some snaggletooth, skin wasn't the best, like all that. Like, you could, like, just like, okay, nerdy girl, you'd find at a convention, but she still had a beautiful dress and she was still trying her best. And either way, he's the one who married her. And then the way this man, when I entered the room, I looked fucking great. Of course I did. And so did my homegirl with me. But mind you, we were both like 15. He was like 40 or something. Maybe even 50. And I don't know how old his wife was, but his wife actually, despite how she looked kind of banged up, she did like, she looked still like older, but still could have, she either could have just been a rough 30 or rough 29, or she was just like a young looking like 40, but I'm leaning to the first. So I don't know, maybe there was a huge age gap there. Maybe he groomed her. Maybe he was a disgusting person. All I know is the way this man saw us approach, and then he fully moves from his wife's side of the table and loudly drags his chair to sit next to me in and my friend instead. And the way the wife was glaring at me, it was a situation I did not want to be in because it's like, oh, gross. And then it's like it's a situation where instead of her going, "Oh, my boyfriend's a pedophile," who also is trying to like seduce young women in front of me and act like he's not, she instead thought, "Fuck this black bitch! How dare she!" And she just was glaring at me as if I was trying to seduce and steal her man. She looked at me like she wanted to have me killed and rip my fingernails out of my fucking body, like she wanted to extract my vertebrae and set it on fire. And it's like, I'm sorry. It's like, ma'am, I'm a teenage girl. I came here to dance and have and like I'm here to do the fucking Congress of Vienna dance. I'm not here to entertain this man who smells like sweaty fucking ham hock. Not even brown sugar ham, just ham hock. Roasting on broil for like 500 hours. Sweaty, disgusting man. Ew. No. Like even back then I liked twink young white boys. I was gonna go for men my age. Fuck no. Jesus. I mean boys my age. Because I was a teenager. Ugh. I'm just saying, like, that is an example of a man who is a terrible person and was wasting the time of a woman who he figured, like, he should settle for, and that she low key also settled for, and then was just only really chose her because his type is anything, but really he just likes that she will tolerate anything. So he'll be like, yeah, I could take a 6 and then go for a 7, 8, 9. I could date this woman who is so ugly and insecure for consistent pussy, home cleaning, like childbearing, all that. And like if then and also we'll probably split the bill for every dinner because she's one of those girls. She'll just be happy to have a man. And then secretly I can save all my money to give to better bitches and go on vacations and trips and to all the passport bro countries. And secretly I can flirt with other women in front of her and she'll find an issue with the women instead of me. And it's I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit so much. It's like it's disgusting and I don't know. All I know is it was a gross situation to be in and he should have never put her there. Also, I remember before when I was like 19, 20 or so, uh, there was this couple online that reached out to me, but the man was in charge of the profile. And then let's just say his girlfriend was a skinny white woman, no titties, honestly the same. Like, honestly, it is kind of Jesus. Here I was trying to say you can. Well, she didn't have glasses, but she did also have a bit of a snaggle toothy kind of overbite. And I'm just saying, if her boyfriend allegedly had a lot of money and was paying for her whole lifestyle, he should have paid to get those fucking teeth fixed and some titties. If he really likes titties, he should have gone for her. I mean, or if you're rich, go for a woman you actually like. But he did the same method of like, I'm just gonna tolerate this chick who is okay enough to stick my dick into and I can pretend to love as I secretly go for what I actually want. Like, they have types, they just act like they don't. And then even then, they don't treat their own types very well, so don't worry. It's just men who are scum-sucking pieces of shit. And then, cue the fact that, I'll put it this way, the couple reached out to me. The guy was like, "Ooh, I'd love to get in contact with you," and his own girlfriend, white woman, pear shape, no titties, slicked back hair look, kind of awkward looking, gangly, but still, like, I'm not saying she was ugly. I'm just saying, but honestly, both of them were ugly. There was like they were. I'll put it this way: they were trying to be like sugar baby throuple sort of thing, where it's like, hey, like we could have you live with us and invest money in you, blah blah blah, that type of shit. But as time went on, like let's just say eventually he had to message me and be like, hey, sorry, my girlfriend actually doesn't want this to work out because she's worried that if I go for someone who doesn't look like her, that I'm gonna like leave her for you. And so she was insecure because it's like, okay, here we go. Skinny, curvaceous black woman, big titties, big ass, hazel eyes, like nice face card, all that. And like also a black woman, and it's like, she just was like, nope, I don't need to watch as he leaves for his actual type. I need him to stay here with me, and also stay here. Like, if we get a white woman, it has to be a fellow white woman who doesn't look better than me, because you need to be with me. Do not dare go for anything else and have me think that you could possibly like any other type of woman. And I pointed out so many flaws in that argument for so many reasons. And let's just say her instinct was right, because that man did keep trying to message me even after it was clear that we shouldn't be talking. He kept trying to message me like, "Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame she doesn't want us to work out. It's a shame," and just like kept making remarks towards me. And I'm pretty sure at some point his girlfriend just took the phone and was like, "Stop contacting me," even though he was contacting me, because she had to save her own ego. It's very awkward. I don't know. I hope I'm getting my point across, but it's just like, they say they're not into, like, they say they don't have a type, they secretly do. Another instance, I remember I was with this, well, I wasn't with him, we were friends, but he did remind me of an ex I was with. I had this one guy. Oh yeah, fuck it. I have several stories. Fuck it. The ex that I was thinking of, I dated this one guy. Let's just say he was into everything. But guess what? He was the type of dude that would have his, I was were they male or non-binary? All I know is assigned male at birth non-binary friend almost sucked their dick at some point, which is okay, but it's just like, you claim to be straight. I don't know. And like, I don't know. Maybe you should. I like, maybe there's so many things I could say about that. I like my niggas gay, but if you're gonna be like, I'm only into women, but deep down, my mutual guy friend almost slurped me up in the car, and I'm still straight. It's like, you are lying to yourself, and you're probably gonna lie to me the second you get the chance to, because you can never be honest with yourself. Why would you be honest with me? And lo and behold, the same guy who was into everything and anything, let's just say, like, he would try to build me up, and he loved my body and he adored me and was worshiping me, but deep down he secretly was obsessed with Asian women, anorexic women, and barely legal women. Scary. And then on top of that, like, he tried to be all, ooh yeah, I had this one girl, Sarah. Ooh, she had fucked up her face with surgery and had these fucked up skeletal fibrosis titties, where her titties just became bone and skeletal, and she didn't have ass, and it was I like your body. You're curvaceous. You're this. You're that. But deep down, I think he was just trying to tell himself that, because let's just say one of the reasons we broke up in the first place, this nigga was downloading every single photo, video, and 24-hour Instagram story that Sarah posted to her account, even as we dated. Diabolical. While trying to tell me that I was the only woman he ever wanted. Date within your type. If you like Asian skinny bitches, go for Asian skinny bitches. If you but she didn't want him, so he was just, don't treat me like I'm a placeholder. I'm not the only, I'm just saying, you better go to fucking Japantown or Koreatown or Chinatown and just look lost in the supermarket and be like, "Excuse me, ma'am, do you know where I can find the udon? I'm trying a new recipe," and just like use that as your riz. Stop trying to be like, "I'm gonna date gorgeous black women," and then try to traumatize them and give them fucked up self-esteem issues. Did it work? No, it didn't give me self-esteem. Well, it gave me self-esteem issues, but not racially. Just more like, God damn it, my fucking thick booty white boy. Why did you do that to me? Are any of you not evil? Do I just have to make evil men my type so I can just prepare for this type of shit when it comes to people like you? I was annoyed. Because it's like, come on now. Come on now. Don't cause me issues, bitch. But yeah, sometimes people do also just stick their dick in anything and it grosses me out. Because it's like, that's the type of person who will cheat on you with a roach if it was thick. They will fuck a couch or a cheese cracker. Their dick will just go wherever. Like, if they can detect an available pussy, they will seize after it. And they don't care if their kids will get bullied at school for being ugly. They don't care if their kids are going to get, like, mental disabilities or disorders or anything. They don't care if their kids are even going to have good parents. You will watch someone go from dating a super wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous hippie woman and cheat on her with a Trump supporter ugly bitch just because the opportunity came to him. You will watch so many people fumble big time in their life and all this terrible shit. And it's like, God damn. And just, ugh, you know, just, ugh, whatever. Ugh. Anything else I want to say? Oh, and the guy after, yeah, funny enough, I was friends with this one guy who reminded me just of this ex-boyfriend. And it was that situation where he was like, yeah, like I just married my wife because it's like, you know what, this white woman is like, she's like a fucking 3 in the face, but an 11 out of 10 in the body. And she has a lot of money and she won't ask for mine. So, hey, I could marry her. Like, I don't have anything in common with her, but she seems smart. I don't love her. Sex is all right. Yeah, sure. And he went with her. And then guess what? For years, he was like, why do I want to stay at work or kill myself instead of go home? It's like, yeah, because you have a wife you don't love waiting at home for you who actually is making an effort with you and you aren't making an effort with her because you're a fucking idiot. And then guess what? He had an affair with an Asian woman. And even after he was about to get divorced, the Asian woman was like, no, I don't like home wreckers, which is so objectively funny. And then guess what? Guess what? Now his type is Asian women. And he's obsessed with them. Obsessed. But it's like, why did you waste this white woman's time and all of that? But you know what? His consequences came in the form of money. And I remember at some point he was having such bad luck on dating apps because people didn't like that he was separated but not fully divorced. I said, no matter what, divorce your wife. Even like think about it. Which do you want to lose on? Some stocks and bonds and like a little like some little money here and there for alimony to your like and then in return you get to have all the beautiful Asian women that you want. Or, or, like, I'm just saying, do you want to lose pussy or do you want to lose money? Because the way you're going, you're losing both by going on dates with these women and paying for these dating apps just to still get fucking treated terribly and still get, like, pardon me, and still have all these issues pop up. And like these women just say, fuck you, you're not fully divorced, you're probably cheating. And then you're spending money on all these fancy restaurants and luau's and shit just to not even get the benefit of sex because you won't divorce your wife. And you still have to pay for all of this other stuff and lawyer fees. I'm just saying, sign the fucking papers and agree to what your ex-wife wants. And guess what? He did. And did he lose a fuck ton of money and some stocks and bonds and checks and now she's incredibly rich? Yeah, I hope that white woman uses that money for good. I hope that set off a chain reaction where the money gets donated to a good cause because that man was just gonna blow all his money on fucking women in Thailand. I'm in the Philippines. I'm just saying. And then guess what? Now he gets to date as many Taiwanese women as he can. Also, he figured out his type, and I am happy about it because he even told me, he said, I'd rather date someone who's my type and ugly than someone who isn't my type and pretty. So, like, and his, like, I even, let's just say at some point, I almost set him up with a friend of mine who's a gorgeous black woman. And if you're wondering how that happened, there was a lot that goes into it. But let's just say a black woman who's like, and like a 7.5, 8 out of 10, like still very, very beautiful, gorgeous woman. Not jaw dropping, but still like, damn, like awe inspiring, you know? Like that would still be too much of a gamble for him compared to like a white woman who he considered to be like a 3 or a 6 or something. I mean, Asian woman. And so he goes for Asian women that he still complained to me about how he found them to be ugly and unattractive and all that shit. But guess what? It's okay. Shit happens, you know? Whatever. Oh, but yeah. Shout out to, like, was he a terrible person? Absolutely. But at least he figured out his niche of terrible person to be. Better to be the guy that dates only his type than the guy who pretends he's into everything and just wastes the time of everyone else around him. Like, yeah. If anything, yeah, I remember this one moment. Fuck it, to finish off this video. I remember when I was like, yeah, last winter, with that fine ass guy Mitchell. And Mitchell was my type, so heavily my type. Like, ooh, he had everything I wanted. And like, ugh, yes, I would have. Big, beautiful blue eyes. Fucking translucent motherfucker, damn near vampiric. Pretty fucking long ass eyelashes. Long, gorgeous legs that reached my titty height. He was 6'5". Huge penis, huge balls. Very attractive in so many ways. God bless. I would have loved to have had his kid. But he sucked, but it's okay. I remember there was an instance where, like, we saw this girl in front of us, and I hate to say it, there's no nice way to say it. She was not a cute girl in any way. in the slightest. And I'm not saying this to be a hater. I'm just saying this as an objective. Like most people would look and be like, that is a woman who exists. No one you would remotely turn your head at and double take at. But this man, at some point, like he looked at her once when he walked in. I figured it was just to be like, okay, yeah, just looking because she's standing in front of us and it's like awkwardly walking away at some point. But later in the evening, we were walking near some bathrooms and he spots her again. And it's like, it's this girl who does objectively have nice hair, but it's like really greasy, oily hair, and her face is like in a constant snarl face. Like she has one of those faces and she has beady little eyes. Her eyebrows aren't, they're healthy looking. I'll give her that credit. Big ass jawline, no ass whatsoever. Like just you know how I described that one guy, the Teletubby built guy? She was kind of built like that, just like flat in the back, everything bad in the front. Just no party in the back, no party in the front. Just straight up, just not even, just terrible. Not a good time had. 0 stars. This man was like, "Oh, hey, that's the girl that we saw earlier. Suddenly I have to use the bathroom. You can go first." And I was like, "No, you can go first." And he was like, he said, "We can both go together." But then as I was entering the bathroom, this man was just still like lingering in the hallway next to the door, like refusing to move. And I was like, "Why aren't you using the bathroom?" And he was like, "I'll just wait out here for you to go first. And I'll watch the bags." I was like, "You can take the bags in with you. There's like a special room in these bathrooms. Yeah, you could do that." He was like, "Nah, it's too much effort." And then I don't remember if I saw him do a double take at that girl, but let me just say, in my mind, I was like, is he gonna do that scumbag guy thing where I go to the bathroom and he hits on a chick who is a 3 out of 10? Maybe at absolute best a 5, but even then, not really. And he's gonna like try to riz her up and get her number and flirt with her as if I'm not here with my gorgeous fucking jewelry looking like Audrey fucking Hepburn, long wavy mermaid braids down my back, gorgeous face, gorgeous everything. And like I'm just saying that's it's like ew, just ew, sex addiction. No discernment, no anything. Ew. But that's just me. Also, hell, if you're like, wow, to me you do not sound for women. I'll finish it off with this. I remember once I was hanging out with an ex at his place, and then I found out he was texting a bitch as I was over at his place, which was fucked up. It's like, okay, so I'm sleeping next to you naked and snoozing under your arm as you're playing video games, but you're also messaging this bitch about her music taste. I see where this is heading. I'll admit I was a petty person. I took a photo of myself. And I knew I looked fucked up in that photo. Like, my hair was terrible. Like, I had my afro hair, but it was like matted and fucked up, and it was like all over the place like this. I looked like a crackhead, and my dark circles were very much present. And like I definitely didn't look that put together. And I just took a photo, nostrils up of myself, and I said, "He's taken. He has someone. He's we were fucking last night." And like, let's just say she never talked to him again for so many reasons. But I think it was especially because it's like she had that feeling of like, oh, you got crazy bitches who go through your phone. You were seeing someone last night and messaging me. Also, damn, nigga, you just fuck anything, anything, and you want to try to talk to me? Hell no! So, so I'm sure she had that same feeling of, oh, is he fucking crackheads? And he just, and just was like, I'm clocking, just like, nah, see you at work, buddy. Good for me. Yeah, that was fucked up. Yep, and I got to keep that little white twink boy for myself for a while. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to the people who actually know their types. Shout out to people who can love just one woman at a time and give her all their love and don't secretly think that she's an ugly fucking cow or secretly go behind her back to try to cheat on her with other people. Shout out to the ones who are genuinely into everything and can treat every person they're with like an individual, like a human being, and treat them worthy of love. And shout out, you know what? Even if you do fuck crackheads or ugly bitches or psychos, I kind of respect you to an extent. You're open minded, you're feeling things out, you're trying to love people and prove that they're worthy of love regardless, as long as you're also respecting them and you're trying your best to be good to everyone you're with, then hey, fuck it. But I'm just saying, if you're a cheating asshole, if you're a scumbag, if you're one of those losers who claims to not have a type, but then you're secretly praying for someone's titties to get bigger or smaller, or you're secretly wincing every time your skinny girlfriend asks to do doggy style, or if you secretly think, damn, like this chick is cute, but I would never want her to have my kids. But if she did have my kids, I would never marry her and I'd make her a baby mama. I hate you. If you're the type of nigga to be like, oh, yeah, here's a woman who clearly loves me, I think she is tolerable at best. And I'm gonna just waste her time for years because I refuse to do any soul searching to realize that I am into fucking skinny Asian women and that I need to handle being alone. Like, really. I've even told niggas, I told it to that one specific divorcee guy. I told him, I was like, hey, guess what? You gotta wait for what you want. Don't just settle for scraps in the meantime. Because do you want to be known as the guy who fucks only twos and threes, or the guy who doesn't fuck for a long time because he's got such a successful life and happiness, but when he does, he always scores a 10 each time? Quality over quantity. And then that inspired him a bit, and he did do better at trying to, like, go for one who he rated higher in his mind. But that guy also had intense body dysmorphia about himself and other people. Funny enough, he tried to come for me at some point, and I was like, no, no, I'm not being your experiment. I don't want, like, I'm sure you can probably realize you might have a secret type for sexy black women with speech impediments and curvaceous, slim bodies, but I'm not gonna risk you calling me a 4 after all that is said and done. No, thank you. Ruin someone else's life. I'm smarter than that. Anyway, but yeah, that's all you're getting out of me today. I'm so tired. I gotta go do stuff.